panel of all the college coaches that are here. So it'll be some really good information. So if you come down to court 4, as most of you guys know, speed and agility training is essential, especially if you're at height on your team. You gotta have speed. So speed for everybody is important, and it's good to start developing it while you're young. So as college coaches, one thing we want to do is give you some information to help you become faster, more agile, and have the functional strength foundation to support you as you play wheelchair basketball. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about development, and then we're going to show you some drills that we use in our programs that you can go home and work on in your program to be quicker, faster, and stronger. So we're going to start with Coach Mike Crawley from the University of Illinois. And he's going to talk about basic development to get ready for speed and agility.
Okay.
Watch out, bring it in a little bit.
Come on in here, actually, right down on the baseline if you're interested. Come on, right down here on the baseline if you're interested. Go ahead and slide in nice and tight, gang. So I know my voice. Stay here, Steve. I'm going to use you. You're going to be my guinea pig today. Okay, so a couple things. As you're beginning to think and beginning to work on your speed and agility, what we always want to do is we want to start off with a smaller step and gradually build your ability up to the highest level. So that's the first thing to think about. And I want to show a little bit of what that might look like. One of the most important aspects of speed and agility that you can develop are your first 2 pushes in the game. Those are key. We saw Coach Laddie showing you about pick and rolling in a previous session. Okay? Picking and rolling is really about 2 explosive pushes, either to set that pick, okay, or explode off the back of it to create space. So we want to give you those. In other sessions, you'll learn about defense. Okay? If you haven't already, it's all about those first 2 pushes. So that's where we start when we're building our athletes' speed and agility. So I'm going to use Coach Steve here as my example. He's going to start on the baseline, and he's going to be facing that direction. And he's going to get ready to do a drill we call power start and stop. All he's going to do is he's going to take 2 pushes as hard as he can, then he's going to come to a complete stop. What we want to really focus on, okay, is making sure the mechanics of his push are really good. He's got his trunk leaning forward at about 45 degrees, so his chin's over his knees. His hand position, okay, his hand position's at 12 o'clock or slightly in front on his wheel, okay, and he's got his eyes up looking forward. And then the last thing, as he's pushing, we want his elbow to follow his hand. We don't want his elbows to drift out. That's a weaker push. And then he's going to lean back and he's going to stop. So I'm going to back up out of the way. We're going to let Coach Steve here. He's going to do this drill just to the free throw line. Then he's going to stop and he's going to come back. Go ahead, Steve. Okay. Now, a couple things as we watch him push here. First thing, when we do this drill, we start off with no resistance. So, if you're a young player, or you have young players that are, say, 7, 8, 9 years old in your program, and they haven't done a lot of training, we don't want them to learn how to stop and start really fast with resistance. Okay, they'll get injuries if they do things like that. If you have a player that's a new injury, that isn't used to pushing, the same thing. We want to start them off at this level. It's good athlete development. We use this drill in addition to teaching quickness and working on our explosiveness, those first 2 pushes. We also use this drill to teach pushing mechanics. Every pushing drill we're going to be describing today also can be used to teach good pushing mechanics. So when you watch Steve, go ahead and put your hand on the wheel. You take a look at his hand, and his thumb is on top of the tire. He's grabbing the whole tire and push rim. It's not just pushing on the push rim, it's grabbing the whole tire. That maximizes the force you apply in your push. He's starting at 12 o'clock or slightly in front because that's a push forward. He doesn't have his hands behind, pulling up and then pushing down. He has his weight forward to have a good attack angle on the wheel. When he's stopping, he's leaning back and he's getting his weight behind the axle to apply as much pressure downward on the contact point on the ground. So where his rear wheels hit the ground. And last thing, you watched him when he was pushing, he's got his eyes up, reading the court. Everything we do when we're teaching chair skills, agility and speed, okay, has to be done game-like. We want good pushing habits, and you've got to see the court or what's going to end up happening, right? Charge, and it's going the other way. So let's watch Coach Steve again. Okay, that's a really good place to start. Okay, that's a really good place to start with a new athlete or with a young athlete just developing themselves physically. Okay, we want to teach them the technique first, and then we're going to add resistance and complexity to it. It's just like strength and conditioning in the gym. Okay, we don't have you starting off trying to do a max bench press. We have you doing a lot of body lifts first. Learn good technique first. Strength, speed, power comes better after good technique. Now, Steve's been training hard. He's been working a lot for a couple of years. He's got himself in shape. He's got great mechanics, and it's time for us to challenge him a little bit more. To challenge him, we're going to add weight. That weight can take a lot of different forms. I might start with somebody small. Kevin, can I borrow you? Are you strapped in enough? Or actually, Doug, do you mind if I use Gonzalez? It's Alex, right? Alex, can I borrow you for a second? Because you've done power start and stop before. Go ahead, and I'm going to have you hold on to the back of his chair. So we're going to add some resistance to Steve, okay? This is the next level in athlete development as we work on speed and quickness in particular here. Alex is going to hold on to the back of Steve's chair. He's going to keep his arms locked straight out so he doesn't run into the back of Steve's chair. And Steve's going to do this again. 2 pushes, stop, 2 pushes, stop. All of the techniques the same, but now we're adding some weight. So we're beginning to challenge him. Go ahead, Steve. Okay, turning around, coming back. That's good. So while we start to do this, we still emphasize good mechanics and technique. And you saw Steve did a great job, okay, keeping his head up. Okay, you gotta go? Sorry. Okay, not a problem. Can I borrow one of the athletes here? Is it okay with the coaches? Can I use Sam? Sam, come on out. I know you've done this before. And you're okay, Coach, with us using him? I don't want to tire him out before the game. Okay. So, Sam's done this drill before, so he knows that, you know, a lot of the things that we ask of an athlete in this situation. Okay? So we're going to have him do it. Alex is going to continue to hold on. Okay? We're going to take a look. Again, we're focusing on technique first. Okay? Go ahead, do it. Go ahead, go. Good. Turn around and come on back. Okay, so it's a great example of us having an opportunity to begin to fine-tune some things. So he's slipping a little bit when he's stopping. That could be that his weight's not far enough back. We can correct the technique issue. Okay, it could be that his tires need a little bit, need to be roughed up or replaced. Some different things like that. So while we're working on our speed and conditioning and our agility drills, we're also going to work on technique. But we've added the weight here. We've increased the resistance by doing that. And we also want to make sure we emphasize the intensity of the drill. We want them to do it at a maximum intensity. We control how this impacts the strength and conditioning, by controlling the time that he does the drill and the rest in between sets and the rest in between repetitions. Okay?